This is a podcast with Daria Leshchenko from SupportYourApp and Chris Airy from Compendium Solutions. Welcome to our show, Leaders with Suspicions. I hope you enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to our podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me today.
Okay, so could you introduce yourself and your business?
Sure. My name is Daria Leshchenko. I'm managing partner at SupportYourApp, Support as a Service company. We provide all levels of customer and technical support, including human and AI. And it's all 24/7, all available channels, whether it's voice, email, live chat. So that is why our clients can use our customer support representatives that are located all over the world, our AI solutions, so it's AI chatbot builders, or it's our just solo AI solutions, or combination. And among our clients currently, we have huge brands that we're proud of. For instance, MasterCard, McLaren, Calm, application for meditation from San Francisco, and many, many more.
So where are you based?
So we have offices all over the world, but most of our people, they are located in emerging countries. So we have offices in LATAM countries, in Argentina, Brazil, in Colombia. We also have offices and our people in South Africa, in Morocco, in Eastern Europe, and in Asia.
Okay, and where are you based?
Okay, me personally, I'm based in Kiev, Ukraine, but with the opportunity to travel to meet our clients all over the world. And as I mentioned recently on our one-to-one conversation, I just came back from London, and I'm planning to go to Switzerland next month.
Great, it's a nice country. So could you take us back to the beginning of your journey in this industry and how did you end up in customer services and technology?
You know, Chris, it was my first job. Um, I just came back from work and travel. This is a summer program for children, for students from Ukraine. And I visited the US. I went to Maryland. And I do remember I came from Maryland and I was looking for a job to have something that I can combine with my studies. And I found a very small department of customer support representatives. And it was very cool for me because I could work at night and I still can, like work, go to my lessons, to my classes during the day. And I decided to accept this offer, and I have started working in that company, in that department. But in 1 or 2 months, I do remember that the company, the department basically that we have just started working with, they were on a stage where they were launching their own applications for Mac computers. And I do remember how one friend of ours came to us and said, "Look, we have also Mac application that we are planning to launch to the US market. And we have no one who would be able to answer phone calls at night, or emails during the day. You have this department. Maybe you can also help us." And we decided, why not? So basically, it's how everything has started from this invitation of helping to one friend of ours. And then we decided, okay, so probably there is a demand. Let's start diving into this industry, into this field. And it took us some time, but then successfully, eventually, we have launched many, many clients, and we basically separated it as a separated company. And I must admit, so as of now, that the very first client who came to us, it was MacPaw with the application Clean My Mac. And we've been working together for 15 years, so they are still one of our clients. And it's very cool because I don't know, lifetime cycle for one of our clients is 15 years. This year we will be celebrating this milestone. So
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's very, very
pretty amazing client retention in the outsourcing industry. That's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah. So
So
basically, that is why we have started from Mac application, but as of now, it's mostly SaaS companies, fintech, it's all IoT services, telecom. But in the very beginning, mostly most of our clients, yeah, they were from Mac industry.
So going from getting an opportunity to building a business, right? Have you had any mentors on the journey? Who's been influential and helpful for you?
I would say that my mentor for my business journey, it's basically my business partner, uh, because he believed in me. He always guided me with the right advices. And sometimes we didn't know what to do, so we just had this opportunity to experiment, to fail fast to see if it would work. And I always had a green light to do whatever I want to in terms of experiments. When I do have a base of arguments, or at least, like some vision, and I can take responsibility to myself for any decision that I make. So that is why I think he's my best mentor so far. And I do remember how I was started looking for another mentor, because let's say even 3, 4, 5 years ago, when we had more than 1,000 people in the team, we like started getting more and more new challenges and new problems. And I was like, okay, so maybe I should find another person who would guide me through these kind of challenges. And it was so interesting that I reached out to some people whom I really admire, and I really like the business that they created. And I didn't get any response. Maybe I wasn't too, like pushy. But I thought maybe I need someone who will get bigger business, more successful business that I do. And still like in the process of searching a right mentor, because sometimes I think it's a great, to talk to someone who already saw the same challenges, saw the same problems, even though the market right now is shifting, and AI has the biggest impact to the market. And probably even those potential mentors, they haven't faced any situations like we have today, right? But anyway, life experience, I think it's very important.
So I think that's a very wise statement to look for the right mentor. It's very important to know what you're looking for. I mean, mentorship is a contract really between two people, isn't it? To both give and receive based
Yeah,
on what you're trying to achieve as outcomes. So good luck with that search.
thank
As a bit of background, I've have a business called Burford Solutions with a colleague. I've been in the BPO industry for 20 years, and we do advisory for brands in terms of where they should go for their outsourcing and in what country. Your business fascinated me because you've got a very clear niche around supporting technology, yeah, and that's very different to a lot of the general outsourcers out there doing just customer service or back office work around the
yeah,
world. Different countries have got different specialisms. So some of the trends I see really are about certain countries, maybe South Africa or Southeastern Europe, are developing their own personalities. And then you've got, as you talked about before, you've got Latin and Southern America that have some good language skills and are very good for particular time zones. Yeah.
yeah,
So, but then out in the market right now, that you've had all this stuff about are Capgemini going to buy/merge with WNS, and I think there's going to be a real challenge in the industry around the big scale outsourcers and what AI is going to do to them, and whether they're able or not to change their business models. Yeah, because they're really set up to run big empires, aren't they? Big spans of controls and big teams. your business seems different. Could you just talk a little bit about your views of the outsourcing market, where you fit, and the challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we were ready for AI before all the hype, before, you know, like everyone has started using ChatGPT. Oh, I do remember our R&D team has launched the very first research on AI, I don't know, like 6 years ago or so. Even like back that days, we thought that we didn't want to be classic BPO company. We would like to be BPO company, or let's say human powered company, but fueled with technologies. That is why we have started developing our own micro solutions, micro utilities to see, okay, so how we can help our clients still, let's say, have the same speed, sometimes even better efficiency, maybe lower cost, just bring that value with the combination of human and technology. And right now, when we're talking about technology, of course, I'm talking more about AI, and that is why we have two different directions here. Even though with one of our technology that we have, it's called CoSupport.ai, I would say that we can cannibalize our business because instead of offering more people, more headcount to our clients, we say, look, we understand that this level of support or this type of questions, we don't need to cover it by people. We can use different AI layers, and then we can have more technical people or more experienced people. And it's basically where I see the industry goes. And as you mentioned, company right now, all possible BPO companies, they need to think about like how they will make this transition, because we still have time. We still have, I think, a couple of years if it's a very classical BPO company, because we do see some gaps in AI support. Sometimes it's not very accurate in answering very simple questions, because our, let's say, clients or everyone who wants to have AI implementation, AI agents, AI customer support agents, first thing should be first, and it's knowledge base. It's all FAQ, and it should be very, structural, very clean, very detailed, because when it's the information or some answers out of date or not relevant, basically, of course, the output will be not let's say, not on a decent level for our clients. And that is why also a challenge, because some of our clients, as we may see, they don't have time to prepare the knowledge base, to think about the different scenario. And also we can help our clients to do this on their behalf. So even they didn't need to, to take all the information, we can go through the previous correspondence, check everything and train different LLM models if needed. And also what I see that if we're talking about traditional BPO companies, many of our clients, they use different CRM systems. And of course, there are some agnostic AI solutions, but many CRM systems, they do have their own AI solutions as well. And that is why customer support provider like SupportYourApp should be aware or should have knowledge base of how to set up different AI solutions for different CRM systems, for different even customer support requests, because some clients would like to have AI component just for, if we're talking about e-commerce, about the refunds. Some of our clients would like to have only on pre-sales approach. So that is why every company, BPO company, should check the industry, test a lot, and try to implement, try to talk to clients, whether it's something that client really wants, or maybe it should be changed, added some flavors to make sure that entire solution will be fit for the target audience.
You covered quite a lot there, so let me try and unpack a couple of questions. So one of the questions I was going to ask you, and you mentioned it already, is that your clients all have different CRMs, yeah? So
Yeah.
that can make it quite difficult for you to provide a service if there's such a variety of CRMs, particularly with your people, you've got talent and retraining, yeah? So maybe I shouldn't ask you which are your favorite CRMs and which are your least favorite CRMs, but I'd love to know the answer to that question. But anyway, in terms of the CRMs, and quite often they will be provided by the client, I presume, as you've just mentioned, and therefore they must have some responsibility for adopting the innovation within the CRM system. I think this is one of the things that big BPO companies find difficult, is the commercial model. So if you're a big BPO company, you're charging per agent per hour, whether it's productive or available or whatever you want to do. But in your model, you're talking very much about a partnership and helping people exploit AI and exploit the technology and get value in their customer service. And you talked about looking back over histories of interactions to build the right knowledge base. How do you make that work with your clients? What's the commercial structure? How does it differ from a normal BPO company? And then when you've got a CRM and you need the client to do things, how do you get them to do things to make your life and their life better?
Thanks, Chris, for those questions. And we're still in the process of like getting this revenue, whether and cost structure, whether it's a people combination or just an AI solution. But what do we see, the price model, it's still we calculate per FTE, let's say. However, if we do have the AI component, then basically for us, we say that one person, instead of 100 requests, will be able to solve 200 requests. So that is why the number of people remains the same. We will have the same expenses for people. For client, we add the special service model. It could be, of course, per interaction, because with some of our companies and projects like CoSupport.ai, we do test per interaction charge. So basically, when AI responds, then we will calculate it, and there are 3 packages. But if we're talking about, for instance, we have another project, which is AI chatbot. They do have also 3 packages. So we basically add those packages to the number of people that we usually charge per FTE. However, there is an exception. If the client wants to have something that we are not able to combine from what we have, but we can use like different or open AI frameworks or solutions, then we may charge for FTE, which is standard, and then for integration services or for consultation services, or we will let's say check how much we would cost, we will pay for the solution itself, and then we will add our margin. It works very straightforward right now. We didn't let's say we didn't have yet something very straightforward in terms how better charge when it's AI and a human powered solution, because we're still in the process of creating it, because the market is just so new. Even some requests for our clients we can do free of charge, just to get the feedback, just to make sure that, okay, our client would say us, okay, we are on the right track or not, or what we would change. And this is kind of our investment to understand how to sell it in the future, because we're still like trying to understand what is the fit, because we have different solutions and we have different approaches, and we need to hear our clients' voices in order to understand how it works. So it's answering your first question. And regarding the second question, can you just recall me one more time so I will be able just address it right away?
Well, it may be not. It may be one you don't want to answer, which are your favorite CRMs and which are your not.
CRM. You know, like I would say, I have changed my mind because I had one CRM that I really liked, then another one, then another one. And as of now, I really like the approach how the Intercom and Fin, their AI component, putting their self in the market, right? Because I do remember times when everyone was talking about Zendesk. And we are not talking about Salesforce here because it's more for sales. However, some teams are also using Salesforce for customer support goals. But Intercom was very fresh, very fast. But sometimes when it comes to pricing, I was like, okay, maybe it's too expensive. And I do remember very first AI component was not so good. Right now it's better, but I still think it's too expensive. But I don't know. I really like the marketing they have.
Okay.
I am their target audience, I would say, because all the banners, you know, all the ads, the colors, messages, really, yeah, I pay attention to them.
Yeah, I mean, I know Entercom of old, we used to embed it into apps. It's sort of quite a good tool for mobile apps. So it's interesting they've become more of a rounded CRM player as well. And
Yeah.
there's quite a lot going on in that space in terms of a lot of product management tools
Yeah.
moving towards the customer experience, customer service space, because you actually want live feedback from your users. The SaaS relationship can be quite cold. And if you don't have ways to actually gather what your users want, it's quite difficult, I think, for product officers other than to just not copy competitors' features rather than
Yeah.
listen to their audience. So I think that convergence between CRM, customer experience, and product tools like product fruits is going to be quite interesting in the future. Anyway, I could ramble on about technology for ages. So let's move on again about your business.
By the
So
way, regarding technologies, Chris, what I really liked, I don't know, maybe you've heard about the solution that 11 Labs represents, voice AI agents. We're also trying to, play with it. We also integrate it in some of our clients' products. But I think it's also, the future is here because it really great. I mean, like, of course, sometimes you need to have your tech team behind because to set it up, it's not so easy yet. But the outcome, we're really happy with the results.
that's good. Yes, interesting. I wondered when those voice agents will catch on. I think it goes back to the knowledge base in the end, doesn't it? Because the voice agent has to work off a knowledge base. And one of the challenges I see is if the knowledge base is based on what you know, rather than really listening to your customers, will the agents just answer the wrong question faster? Yeah, that's one of my
And
worries.
also, I think it's also about, like a RAG. For instance, when we are talking about voice, you need to transcribe voice into text, then find information, then again text to voice, and just to make sure, and sometimes it takes time or it's slight delays, but yeah, it's something that, like again, sometime in the future, and I think it will, will be like on the same level as people right now when they answering phone calls, and sometimes they also need some time to find out the information, to check information, even though right now there are some AI assistants, for instance, can also listen to phone calls and give you already some tips or some information, so it will take not too much time to answer or find the right information, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons we as a business are building our suspicion engine product is to try and connect the customer service realm to the operational systems to work out what are the root causes and therefore build the right knowledge base rather than the knowledge base, which could be based on symptoms because you're seeing the symptoms, which are what your calls and your contacts are about. We're trying to work on how does AI go and find the root causes within your core processes and systems. So maybe talk to you about that one day. So let's move back on about your business, which is the purpose of this podcast. So talent then, you've talked about a business that's technologically smart, working with AI, but can also do customer service, right? And then you talked about implementing 11 apps. That's quite a mix compared to a normal outsourcing company. Yeah, normal outsourcing company is generally either all technologists if it's development outsourcing, or it's all more operational customer service people if it's normal support. You're trying to blend the two together here. How do you find that talent strategy? How do you make that work?
In terms of people, if we're talking about people who are creating this company, like our agents, our customer support representatives. So it's one strategy because as I mentioned, we've been in the market for 15 years and we already have very good reputation. We have a huge database of people, and we also use AI to filter people with skills which would possibly will be perfectly fit into clients' requirements. And that is why I think when we test different countries, when we feel and find a right country, when it's the vibes are right, skills and experience. So we try to then accelerate that country. We'll basically find managers from that country, and the managers already they will bring more and more talents. On the other side, we have our managers and top managers, and it's very interesting thing that I would say that the biggest part of top management team, they've been with me from the very beginning. And I must admit that even though we've been working for like 10 years, 12 years together, we still try to, learn something new, try to find new technologies, not to be on the same level. If we see that, for instance, one person on one position, if it's a top management position, but this person likes something, I always will give the opportunity to try himself or herself in that another position. So that is why, when people will ask me how I can spend 15 years in one company, I would answer that every year in this company, I do something different. And I don't feel that I'm, like doing the same things. That is why I do not feel that I'm bored, because I try myself in different roles, in different directions, as well as my team. And when it comes to find talents that, let's say, especially for AI or technology, and we didn't have experience before, then of course I try to find the best one with the best experience on the market. And again, our talented HR representatives, they help us because they have this solid experience so far.
Okay. And how do you kind of got, though, when you're talking about technology, quite often that can change the customer services people's roles, right? And there are a lot of outsourcers that are resistant to change because, obviously you've got fears about employment and your future. Yeah. So how do you mix those two different things? One's changing the business and one's running the business, isn't it?
We see that only level 1 basically right now will eliminate in the future. But still, if we have our people and they are experienced, They can cover level 2, level 3, because it's still something that our clients require us to have. And I would say that from trends that I see, if let's say even 2 or 1 years ago, we still had the L1 position open for our clients. Right now, we just don't have those positions, and we just hire people for L2, L3 positions. And the difference is that level 1 positions, usually we could close those positions in 1 week. And right now it takes us 2 weeks, because then we need to have more tests for our people to make sure that we will find those people with the right experience.
Okay, good. So let's move on then. So you're running this whole business now, yeah? What does your day look like?
I would say that SupportYourApp, it's our biggest company, but I mentioned you some AI products as well. Apart from AI products, we have 2 more spin-offs. It's Label Your Data, company that annotates data for AI companies and computer vision companies. So whether it's LiDAR, radar, object, video, audio, it's just to train AI models. And Outstaff Your Team. Outstaff Your Team, it's for staffing tech talents, whether it's developers, designers all over the world. So my day right now, it's mostly, I would say, filled with the meetings with people of those companies or directions, because I see my role right now. It's to be a mentor. Basically, it's something that we have started from in the very beginning, right? um, Even me in position of looking for a mentor, but for my teams, I could be a mentor. I still try to guide them, to believe in them, and to motivate them. So that is why I have those meetings with the one-to-one with my team members, some strategic meetings, board meetings, and time to reflect, time to test. I even try to book 1 hour without any meetings. So I can play with different technologies, or I can search for different AI solutions myself, and then come to my team with some ideas. Even though we have our opening week calls and closing week calls, and on those calls, I always share with my team recent news about AI, as well as ask them how they use AI on their daily basis, or how they use AI for work, and they can share some tips, so everyone can use those tips and in order to be more efficient. So, for instance, the recent task, not even task, but it's just for fun. I asked my team to test different LLMs, not just ChatGPT, Claude, but maybe try to find some other solutions and then share with us the feedback. So it's what we do on our regular basis.
So you've managed to go from a position where you were effectively started the business and were stuck in the actual work to now it sounds like you're quite strategic and working on the business and able to sort of coach your leaders and give that strategic advice, right?
Yes.
Was that difficult, changing yourself from when you first started 15 years ago? What was that personal journey like to pull yourself out of the business?
It was very difficult, but my motherhood helped me, I would say. I got a baby, and that is why I had to, um, make step back and see how the business operates. And then when I came back, it really helped me already do not go into the operations. That is why I decided to stay on strategic level. And my team is making jokes and saying that probably I need to get, to be pregnant and to got a baby earlier. Then probably I would will have this approach earlier.
Oh, I'm glad. Yes, interesting comment. Yeah. Okay. So, where do you see yourself going next in terms of this business? What are your plans and strategies for it and yourself?
Yeah, so I hope that our journey of making transition into this AI powered human company, or even AI powered human solution company, will be successful, and we will find those audience, target audience, we'll find our clients who will be happy to, like, to build another level of customer experience, because it's something that is really changing. And I do remember 15 years ago, my goal was to change clients' approach of call centers, how they see call centers. Because usually when we say, okay, I work in call center, it doesn't sound sexy or cool. And that is why we have created very beautiful offices. We give the best computers to work on. It's Mac computers. We have created this atmosphere. So instead of just, let's say, a regular taxi, right now we have Uber. Or instead of regular circle, we have Cirque du Soleil. That is why I think in terms of customer support company, we also successfully got this transition back 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And I hope that next move will be also successful in terms of our positioning and of how our clients will see ourselves together with them in the future.
It does sound like you have a really strong client partnership relationship and long-term relationships. I think that's pretty amazing. In terms of growth and new clients, how do you approach getting new business? What do you find works well? Just for the listeners out there, most people are getting approached all of the time by lead generation agencies with latest ideas, but just in your experience, what works in terms of winning new business?
For us, mm, really works Google Ads as CPC. That is basically, I know that these approaches, they don't work for other companies, but for us, they still do. However, the market also is changing, and the Google Ads algorithms are changing as well. So that is why we go everywhere right now, whether it's SEO, whether it's account-based marketing, whether it's LLMs, search optimization as well. So even podcasts, everything basically, when we can say something about our company, about our solution, where we can reach our client audience. So we try to go everywhere right now because everything that has been working for us 2, 3, 5 years ago, it's really changing, or the price is going up. That is why we try to diversify the sources. And of course, as I always say, the best source for us is our satisfied clients who always bring their friends or their colleagues, company, fellow companies to us, and it's just a word of mouth.
Okay. And so that word of mouth, I mean, often people have always said case studies are your best sales tool, yeah?
Yeah.
But in terms of that word of mouth, how do you manage your community then of clients and stakeholders? And do you have user groups or communities or newsletters? What do you do to nurture that community aspect?
So basically, we have our chief client officer. This person in charge of reaching out our client database on a regular basis, giving our recent updates, news, information, asking feedback, as well as we're trying to convert all of our clients into our affiliate partners. So it's also something that they know if they will bring clients to us, they will get the success fee, and it will be like a win-win model when everyone is happy.
Okay. I guess that can work with some of them, but probably not some of the big corporate ones with compliance teams and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
mentioned.
again, if corporate ones, it doesn't work if we're talking about, the affiliate inside of the company. But if this person can bring, like, I don't know, just a friend of his, because they're all customer support representatives or customer support directors or operational directors, and they know someone from other company. So for recommendation, and it doesn't mean that, of course, we will win those clients, but at least we will try.
Okay. And what hasn't worked as you expected, in terms of growth? What did you try? What was your biggest disaster in terms of growth investment? What didn't work?
What didn't work? I think the huge conferences, when we attend big conferences, we need to understand that the big conferences, it's more for brand awareness or for, like nurturing, for getting new knowledge base or meeting new people, but it's not about finding new clients. So I always say that when someone wants to, from our company, will go to a huge conference, that it's just to have fun and it's also great. But if you would like to have great results, it's better to go to have a road shows to those directions, those locations, wherever our potential clients are.
Okay, thank you. So let's just sort of move on to the closing segment now. So if you were talking to somebody who's just finished university or just at the start of the career, yeah, who wants to be as successful as you, what advice would you give them?
Okay, I would give the advice, fail fast, keep your word, and don't be so happy when everything is great, and don't be so sad when everything seems very bad.
Okay. And that kind of leads on to my next question then. What lessons did you learn the hard way?
My lessons, I think that, like I really like this phrase, this quote that this Solomon says that everything will, like pass away. So that is why I'm not trying to, as I mentioned, be so frustrated when something going on very bad and not be super excited when I see some results. Of course, I'm happy, but do not have this, like too critical waves into different situations. And also, I think that also one very important lesson for me is that it's very important to have a great relationship with the team, and it doesn't matter whether the team members are within the company or just decided to try something else. Having this human-like relationship with respect, it's very important because you never know what would be tomorrow after you will turn this curve and where you will be with your team. So respect your colleagues, your partners, your clients, ex-colleagues. That's very, very important.
Thank you. So finally, what excites you the most about the future of your business and the industry?
That is very this is very flexible and agile industry. If you want, if you have a vision, you will be able to change it. And I think that with the customer support industry, it's great that we have impact to clients' mood, to clients' experience, to clients' client journey. Basically, it's very, very important. when we can transform from something negative into something positive through some certain actions.
Thank you. So that's it. If somebody wants to get in touch with you and your business, how would they do that?
Yeah, feel free to contact me on LinkedIn or within my email, co@supportyouраpp.com.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you very much for that, Daria.
Thank you, Chris, for your questions.